Hey guys, welcome back. Let's discuss about scaling a cluster. Now, all these techniques are great for scaling of the application, but what about the cluster itself? At some point, you will pack the nodes full and need more resources to schedule new parts for your workloads. So in that perspective, let's discuss about auto scaling. When you create your cluster, you can customize the starting number of nodes, which is minions, with the num underscore minions environment variable. By default, it is set to 4, as you can see on the screen. Additionally, the Kubernetes team has started to build auto scaling capability into the cluster itself. Currently, this is the only support on GCE and GKE, but work is being done on other provider. The capability utilizes the kube underscore autoscaler min nodes and kube autoscaler max nodes and kube enable cluster autoscaler environment variable. The following example shows how to set the environment variables for autoscaling before running kube-up.sh. As you can see in the screen in the top where I am pointing through my mouse cursor. Also bear in mind that changing this before the cluster is started will have no effect. You would need to tear down the cluster and create it once again. Thus this section will show on how to add nodes to an existing cluster without rebuilding it. Now once you start a cluster with these settings, your cluster will automatically scale up and down with the minimum and maximum limbs based on compute resource usage in the cluster. Now just a footnote, GK cluster also supports auto scaling when launched when using the alpha features. The preceding example will use a flag such as enable auto scaling min nodes 2 and max nodes 5 in a command line launch. Okay, so let's quickly get started with scaling up the cluster on GCE. Now, if you wish to scale out an existing cluster, we can do it with a few tips. Manually scaling up your cluster on GCE is actually quite easy. The existing plumbing uses manage instance group in GCE, which allows you to easily add more machines of a standard configuration to the group via an instance template. You can see this template easily in the GCE console. First, open the console. By default, this should open your default project console. If you are using another project for your Kubernetes cluster, simply select it with, from the project drop down at the top of the page. On the side panel, see under Compute and then Compute Engine and select Instance Templates. You should see a template titled Kubernetes Minion Template. Note that the name could vary slightly if you have customized your cluster name settings. Click on that template to see the details. Refer to the screenshot shot which is attached on the screen right away, and you can see that. So you will see a number of settings, but the meat of the template is under the custom metadata. Here you will see a number of environment variables and also a startup script that is run after a new machine instance is created. These are the core components that allows us to create new machines and have them automatically added to the available cluster nodes. Because the template for new machine is already created, it is very simple to scale out our cluster in GC. Let me quickly move to the next screen. Okay, so once in the compute section of the console, as you can see on the screen, simply go to instance group located right above the instance template. Link on the side panel. Again, you should see a group titled Kubernetes Minion Group or something similar. Click on that group to see the detail as shown in the following screenshot on the screen right now. Now you will see a page with CPU matrix graph and 3 instances listed here. By default, the cluster creates 3 nodes. We can modify this group by clicking on the Edit Group button at the top of the page. Okay. Now you should see Kubernetes minion template selected in instance template that we reviewed a moment ago. You will also see an auto scaling settings which is off by default and an instance count of 3. Simply increment this to 4 and click on save. You will be taken back at the group detail page and you will see a pop-up dialog showing the pending changes. You will also see some auto-healing properties on the instance group edit page. This recreates failed instances and allows you to set health check as well as the initial delay period before an action is taken. In a few minutes, you will have a new instance listed on the details page. We can test that this is ready using the get nodes command from the command line. And the command, as you know, is uh, kubectl1 get nodes. Let me quickly change the screen. Give me a second. Okay. Now, a word of caution on auto scaling and scale down in general. First, if we repeat the earlier process and decrease the countdown to 4, GC will remove one node. However, it will not necessarily be the node you just added. The good news is that the pods will be rescheduled on the remaining nodes. However, it can only reschedule where resources are available. If you are close to full capacity and shut down a node, there is a good chance that some pods will not have to place to be rescheduled. In good chance that some pods will not have to be rescheduled. In addition, this is not a live migration, so any application state will be lost in the transition. The bottom line is that you should carefully consider the implication before scaling down or implementing an auto scaling scheme. Now, I have attached a note. I mean, it's in the for more information on general auto scaling in GC, refer to the link attached on the screen at the top. And for more details, because it's not possible to cover all the things here because of the time crunch. So with that, I'm taking a pause, and in the next lecture we would be talking a few more things. So till then, thank you very much.